Hi guys, hope you're good, hope you're well. Kieran Bugleborn here. Bit of one from the heart today for me. This is about my journey with my mental health and also TRT, which is Testosterone Replacement Therapy. If you like what you see here, please drop me a like, drop me a comment, subscribe to my channel, it means the world to me. So, always been a fit, happy, chappy, like even when I was taking loads of drugs, drinking loads, not taking care of myself. And then when I came out of that, obviously, like when you're going through drug withdrawal and cutting off people who don't add value to your life, who you thought were your friends, yeah, you do go through your little slumps. You bounce back from them. I didn't expect what happened to me to happen, if I'm honest with you. I didn't know that these things really existed. Everything fine, 2018 we're talking. And I remember the day quite clearly. We're coming up to nearly 7 years ago that this happened to me. Me and my wife, Liz, we were getting ready to go out for the day to go on a Segway tour of some castle grounds around us. And yeah, cool. Like everything fine, happy, normal, but boom, I felt something snap in my head. Don't know what it was. It was just the weirdest sensation. It was really, really, really weird. But I just thought nothing of it. Just thought it was just like one of those funny little things. Just cracked on. And we had a great day. We went, even though it was cold, obviously October here in England, it is really, really cold, or getting colder. And yeah, we had a really good day. I think the next day we went pumpkin picking with our son and stuff. And it was just a really nice weekend. And then progressively, something like just started getting overwhelmed with like feelings. Stuff that wouldn't bother me normally started to bother me. And then started to become really anxious about things. Really, really badly. Didn't help that I was doing 2 hours of commuting to work, but driving at 5 a.m. in the morning for an hour to get to my 6 o'clock client. I'd leave the gym at 9, drive for another hour, and then won't get home till 10. So really, really long days working away from home. But then I started to get a bit more anxious about bits and pieces. Even though work was going good, I was getting anxious about work. It got to a point where when we're talking, maybe end of November, I started pulling my hair out. That's when Liz was like, you need to go see the doctor. So I went to go and see my doctor. He was very reluctant to give me antidepressants, but he prescribed them to me anyway. He was like, look, I want you to try and do this by yourself. You should really turn to this as a last resort. Just ride it out and see how you feel. So like, okay. He gave me a prescription for sertraline. I remember taking a couple of days, like, right, okay, well, let's give this a go. Let's see what happens. So I gave it a go. So I did half a pill in the evening before I went to bed one night. And then I woke up the next day thinking that it would do something magical, but I woke up so monged. It was unbelievable. I had no functionality whatsoever. It was that so bad, I had to get Liz to go and text my morning clients that I'm not coming in today, I'm not well, because literally I don't know what that shit does to you, but it's not meant to be, not making you fucking happy, let me tell you that now. Called my doctor, said look, I'm going to try and do this alone. I'd done half a pill, I don't need this, chucked it away and tried to crack on. But no matter what I tried, I called the Samaritans, I was on the phone to Calm, to Mind, you name it, all the mental health charities in the UK which provide telephone support. I remember breaking down to some poor bloke at the Samaritans and just telling him all my worries, and he was just reassuring me, you are worth it, you know, you are good enough for your wife, you are good enough for your son. Really, really sad doing it. But, you know, I feel sorry for the poor bloke having to listen to all my worries, but, you know, thank God that these sorts of things exist. Then it got to the point where me and Liz were like, should we try for another baby? And then I changed GP surgeries to move it closer to where I was living. I booked an appointment. Like, look, I want to have all my bits and pieces checked. I want a full blood panel done just to make sure I'm in optimal health, because we're going to be trying for a kid. And as well, I want to talk about looking at some sort of medication. So went to the GP surgery, saw the doctor. She arranged for a full paddle to be done, and went and saw the nurse, had that done. And then we talked about what's happened. So I told her, like, look, my previous doctors prescribed me sertraline, didn't work well for me, still having mental health issues, tried speaking to Samaritans, all the mental health charities. And then she was like, right, well, okay, well, let's try you on fluoxetine. Let's see how that works. So, okay, fine. So a couple of days later, I had the call back saying that all my bloods were all within the normal range. So I had nothing to worry about. We started on fluoxetine. And yeah, that worked better than sertraline, if I'm honest with you. I felt a little bit more with it, not 100%, maybe about 50% better. But 50% is better than no percent at the end of the day. And that's how I saw it at that point. But unfortunately, it ruined me in lots of other aspects rather than like being monged out. Yeah, I took fluoxetine for a good 9 months, I'd think. Yeah, then I was just like, look, can't take it anymore. It's not really doing anything. So I stopped taking it, start to manage everything by ourselves. Thankfully, me and Liz got pregnant with our daughter. I remember the last fluoxetine I took was Christmas Day 2019. Our little one was born, and being immersed in that moment, you know, you kind of put things on the back seat and you learn to cope and deal with other stresses which are around. COVID hit, a little bit more intricate, but thankfully I was able to get a job outside the fitness industry. COVID then ended, social distancing ended, and we were able to get back to the gyms. I started working in my facility when that happened, and thank my lucky stars, because I was so happy to get back to doing something I love. Started PTing again and having a conversation with the guy who owned my gym, and he was just like, how are you? And I just let loose, literally verbal diarrhea, everything. How are you? Oh mate, you wouldn't believe this. Like, okay. Have you had your bloods done? Yeah, I had them done at the doctor's. Okay, what did they say? Are you within the normal range? Okay, have you got a printout of it? No. Have you had one done privately? No, I haven't. So he sent me the link to MediCheck. It was like, order one of these tests, get a sample done. When you get the results, let me have a look. So straight away, boom, ordered it, got the kit. Luckily, one of my friends is a nurse, so she was able to take my blood for me. Got my results back like a week later. I gave them to my mate, like, okay, have a look at these. Took my phone, looking at the PDF. Mate, you're fucked. What do you mean I'm fucked? Your test is through the floor? How do you mean through the floor? It's like, well, it should be between 24 and 30 nanomole, but yours is 12. What? Like, yeah. You're fucked. Like, but the doctors said that I'm alright. They haven't told you about andropause, right? Like, no, it's andropause. Well, andropause is when you start slowing down with your testosterone production, and it looks like you're right in the fucking thick of it. It's like, fuck, really? Like, see if you speak to your doctors, see if they will give you like TRT and like go forward from there. If not, I'll put you in touch with somebody. Like, okay, fine. So I spoke to my doctor, and she was like, look, dude, like, you know, the only way for you to go through this is for you to go through an endocrine referral. That can take months on end. There's no guarantee that you'll be prescribed TRT under the NHS. Like, well, you know, I can't wait for this. You know, I need to go privately. I went private. I used my friend's details that he gave me, and I spoke to an andrologist. And an andrologist is a male hormone expert. I had a conversation with him. It wasn't what I thought it would be. I thought he'd be talking lots of medical terminology, but he wasn't. There was a lot of different things that cropped up just about general life, how I am as a person, how I've been reacting to things mentally, how things are with my wife, how things are with my family, how do I feel. There's a lot in regards to the feeling rather than the medical side of things. How's my nutrition been? How's my sleep been? How's my stress management been? How's my training been? And speaking all of those things, like, right, okay, divulge about my past, about my drug use and such. And like, oh, right, how much recreational drugs have you done? Oh, doctor, hate to break it to you, but I've probably done more drugs than you've had roast dinners and cups of tea combined. Right, and tell me about like your sporting background. And I told him about my sporting background, so that I played rugby competitively from the age of 6 up until I was 15, competed in karate from 6 to 15, then took up MMA, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Thai boxing when I was 24, competed extensively internationally and in the UK. And it was like, right, well, you know, I deal with a lot of combat sport athletes as well in your age group. You know, and they all suffer from the same thing. And you've been building your hormones up, bigger peak, bigger trough. And it kept going like this, and I didn't even realise I was doing this to my body. But he actually said to me, like, look, that day that you felt something, this is the day that you should have been at our door, because nobody knows about andropause. This is the reason why lots of people commit suicide, because they go nuts. Like, wow, okay. This is not a recognised medical condition. People don't know about it. People don't talk about it. Nowadays, you can see adverts on your Facebook, your Instagram for places like Menual. And so he offered me a trial, 3 months, on intramuscular injections, which is the best way to take it. All prescription, all legit, none of this backroom gym bullshit that you get. Very low dosage to optimize hormones. Now, it's not like you're banging in a mil of tests a week or every 2 days like some bodybuilders do. Very, very low dosage. 0.2 of a mil twice a week. One at the beginning of the week, one at halfway through the week. Yes, injecting yourself is a little bit of a daunting task to start off with, but after a while, like anything, you ingrain a habit, you get used to it, you just crack on with it, but it becomes normal life. Anything like flossing your teeth, you just crack on with it. Same with going to the gym, you just crack on with it. Yeah, I didn't realise how much that such a little thing could make such a big difference, especially now where you can see that the average male's testosterone has dropped by 60% in the last 20 years. Obviously, there is something going wrong with the air that we're breathing, the water we're drinking, the food that we're eating, the fact that we've become a lot more sedentary, we're not walking, we're not getting enough vitamin D. There's lots of different attributes which are playing into a part. Doesn't help that I did a fuck ton of drugs. Doesn't help that I pushed my body to the actual limit and really tried to make a go of my MMA, jiu-jitsu, Thai boxing career when I was younger. But it's a learning curve. Since I've been taking TRT, 2022, I believe I started taking TRT. So we're coming up for 3 years. Doctor that I deal with, he's top drawer, as Andy Gray would say. He knows his stuff. He's an expert in his field. He knows what he's doing. He explained to me, obviously, the benefits, that I'm going to feel better. Things are going to improve at home. Things are going to improve in general life. Downsides are, obviously, fertility is going to be affected. I said to him, look, doctor, I completely understand, but I'd rather my wife and my kids have the best version of me now, continue for a happy life. He did also mention it's lifelong medication. It's like Pringles. Once you pop, you can't stop, and then you keep going. Yeah, I've been wanting to, as I say, do this video for a while, but I hope that anybody who watches this video and has listened to me ramble and talk from the heart, because this is completely unscripted, unlike other YouTube videos that you might see out there. This is completely from right in here, explaining how I've gone through things and how hard it's been. Luckily I didn't get down to the whole, right, I'm going to take my own life sort of route like some people unfortunately go down. But thankfully, and I'm sure that if you spoke to my wife or she was here right now, and like she tell you about how difficult it was to live with me while I was trying to sort my shit out or get a resolution to my problem. I'm very thankful that she stuck by me, because there was so many times that I thought that she wouldn't, and I'm just so happy that she had, because if not, I probably wouldn't be here right now, if I'm honest with you. And good women are hard to find. If you've got one, keep hold of her and just do your best to keep her happy as much as you can. But again, very thankful, very grateful that of her, my friend who said that I needed to go and get help, my doctor. Yes, I am not natty, but I'm doing something that's optimizing my hormones. There's the key words, optimizing hormones, making sure that I am feeling like a man, breathing like a man. If you have had mental health problems as a bloke, like I did, firstly, I urge you, try and prioritise your sleep as much as you can. If you haven't watched my video on the reverse alarm, watch the reverse alarm video. I'll link it down below. Optimize your nutrition. It's not rocket science. Plenty of water. Make sure it's filtered. None of us tap water bullshit. Get as much fruit, vegetables, lean proteins into your diet, and dietary fat. Dietary fat helps regulate our hormonal systems. Things like avocado, olive oil, coconut oil. Need a little bit of saturated fat, so proper butter. None of this margarine shit. Get your training done. Train like your life depends on it. Really fucking hard, okay? You want to be trying to kill yourself in the gym. Train with intent. And then try and manage your stress levels as well. Try and do those 4 things. Any concerns? Still not improving? After 4 weeks, go get yourself a Medichecks blood test. Try and find a nurse or a doctor who's a close friend or family member. Get them to take a venous sample, get it sent back. If you want me to look at your bloods, I'd be more than happy to look at your bloods. Obviously been down the road myself. And then we can talk a little bit more about what we can do going forward. Whether it's something that you need or something that we can sort out. If I can help you in any other way, shape or form, just drop me a message. But on that note, I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to train like my life depends on it. And I'll catch you on the next one. Peace out.